Everybody's worried about Bo Nix. Everybody in Broncos country wants to know if he is actually the answer at quarterback. I believe he is. I believe that he is. But I want to talk today about a realistic timeline for a quarterback at the NFL level and what we need to see out of Bo in that timeline. That is coming up next. Broncos country, let's get into it. Let's dive deep into some quarterback conversations. And I want to start by figuring out what the timeline is for quarterbacks to be considered a bust and they're out of here, or the real deal and are getting a second contract at the NFL level, which brings some big bucks when you got QB next to your name. My timeline, and again, everybody may be different. I'd love to hear yours. If you have a different answer and a legitimate reason, well, tell me in the comment section. My timeline's 3 years. I have one major reason why that is 3 years, and it's because an NFL quarterback told me that it's 3 years. It's the handsome Brady Quinn. Handsome devil, that Brady Quinn. Not that great a quarterback. But he told me a couple of years ago that it's 3 years to, in his words, be comfortable in a playbook. Not master a playbook, not know everything your coach wants you to do and what all other 10 players are doing on the offensive end. It takes 3 years to be comfortable inside an NFL playbook. So let's use that timeline. We just watched Bo with 1 year as a rookie. We're now 3 games into year number 2, but this gets us all the way through this year and then all the way through next year, which will end in January of 2027. That might feel like an eternity from right now, but it is not. January of 27 is going to be here sooner rather than later. So that's my timeline, and that's what I'm going to talk about throughout the podcast here today. What does Bo need to accomplish during this 3-year timeline? So when we get to January, maybe it goes really right, and we get to February, that's 100% right. In 2027, what will Bo need to accomplish for all of us? Not just me, who's a Bo guy, but all of us to come to the same answer, the same conclusion. Bo Nix is the franchise quarterback that Sean Payton tried to sell us as. What would that take? What would that take for you? Is it winning the AFC West? Is it a Super Bowl trip? I mean, that's a little much in 3 years. Yes, some quarterbacks have done it, but it's a really, really tough ask. Is it winning 13 games in the regular season? Hosting a playoff game? How would you know that Bo's the guy? You know what my answer is? I have a number for this. I'm going to know with 100% certainty. I feel pretty good about him right now. But there's some room for growth and some question marks that I have around the kid, certainly over the last couple of weeks when he couldn't close a dang game. But what I need out of Bo Nix in the next 2 years, before year 3 comes to an end, is 2, count them, 2 playoff wins from Bo. And that can come in different forms, right? It would be great if he can check that box and check that next box for us come January of this year. But I'm not making that a requirement. In fact, per my timeline and my rule of what I want to see, 2 playoff wins in the next 3 years, he actually doesn't have to win one right now. He can get to the playoffs, lose in the wild card weekend again, and then win a couple of playoff games in his 3rd NFL season, just like Lamar Jackson did. That's another thing we need to consider. Lamar Jackson actually only has 2 playoff wins. You look at Josh Allen. Took him a year or so to get things going in the postseason as well. Justin Herbert, he's so hot right now, right? You know what that dude is in the playoffs? 0-for. He's yet to win a playoff game. He's actually 0-2. And he got beat by a dude that we all think is a bust in Trevor Lawrence. How about Baker Mayfield? He's only got 2 playoff wins in his entire NFL career too. Dak Prescott, he only has 2 playoff wins in his entire NFL career. Every quarterback that I just mentioned has a 2-3 year head start on Bo Nix. Some of them longer than that. So to me, it's 2 wins in the postseason. That's it. I shouldn't say that's it. They're really hard to do, as you can tell from the list that I just talked about. And then, by the way, go back to how you get there. You want to talk about Lamar Jackson's first couple of playoff games? He had 4 or 5 turnovers in those games, directly on him. Interceptions, fumbles, just the moment being too big for him. Did the moment seem too big for Bo back in Buffalo last weekend? Maybe at moments. Maybe at moments. I'm not going to just blindly defend the guy. But he was a rookie. You're playing against one of the top-tier quarterbacks and one of the best teams in the entire NFL. So the moment was probably too big in instances for Bo. But when they get back to the playoffs this year, I don't think that'll be the same case. I think we start to see Bo kind of calm down as soon as this weekend. Well, it's a Monday night game, so as soon as Monday versus the Cincinnati Bengals. But that's what it is for me. I need 2 playoff wins from Bo Nix by the time we reach February of 2027. And like I said, took Lamar a couple of years. It took Josh a year to find a win. Still haven't got one from Justin Herbert. How long's Baker Mayfield been in the NFL at this point? He only has 2 playoff wins. How long's Dak Prescott been in the NFL at this point? He only has 2 playoff wins. So I know it's everything in front of us right now, and the world's going to end if the Broncos and Bo Nix don't figure it out sooner rather than later. But man, we are so stuck in the middle of this. It's that old saying, right? That we're so deep in it that we actually can't see the forest through the trees. Trees through the forest? Something along those lines. We're just so stuck in it that we have tunnel vision, and all we see is Bo Nix. And all we see the last 2 weeks is you lost to Daniel Jones and the Colts? What the hell is that? You lost to the Chargers when you were up. You had according to ESPN, the Broncos had an 89% chance to win the football game with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left. And they lost that game against the Los Angeles Chargers. But again, it's because he's our team. And we rep the orange and blue, right? And we love the Denver Broncos. So you want everything right now. But we all forget, and it's very easy to do so, that the top-tier quarterbacks that we talk about, and Patrick Mahomes is the exception, he showed up and lit the world on fire. Good for you, Patrick. There are going to be some quarterbacks from time to time that do that. But for the most part, the top-tier teams and quarterbacks that we talk about, it's not this overnight sensation where they just figured it out. This thing takes time. And if the fit is right between Sean and Bo, man, these first couple of years are going to be a blip on the radar in a decade from right now when we're talking about a 9-year playoff streak, back-to-back AFC championship games, and now on the verge of a Super Bowl. That's what could come if the fit is right. I believe it's right. But there's a few things that have to be taken care of. But for Bo Nix, that's the answer. It's 2 playoff wins. You want to know if Bo's the real deal? Give him a 3-year window. And if he wins 2 playoff games in that timeline, he's the real deal. And you ink him to a new contract extension. If he's not, well, that's an uncomfortable conversation I don't really want to have, but it leads to Sean Payton's legacy. It leads to a new coach being hired. It leads to Bo probably trying to find a job as a backup quarterback somewhere. Big if, in my opinion, because I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to figure it out. And I think Bo Nix, by February of 2027, has won at least 2 Bronco playoff games. Like I said, you have a different timeline than 3 years. Tell me why. Tell me about it in the comment section. You have a different requirement than 2 playoff wins. That's all good. I ran this by my guy, Cecil Lammey, and his answer was just consistency. He wanted to know that Bo was going to be the same guy week in and week out. He hasn't been that so far. He showed some of that in the latter part of last season, but man, he's been a completely different dude this season. So there's no right or wrong answer to this. I'm just curious what you think the timeline is and what the results need to be in that timeline. 3 years, 2 playoff wins. Give me that, Bo, and we're all good, baby. Don't give me that, and it's time for a new quarterback in these parts. But I feel good that Bo will deliver because I believe. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff while you're hanging out here. Always shout out to my man Dan Chavez, making me look so good sitting right here. We'll talk to you again real soon. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.